KCAL News Mornings.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, December 11th. I'm Rudy Shabasi.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Chris Holmstrom. Thanks for waking up with us here on KCAL News this morning. Now, this morning, the fight continues to contain against the Franklin fire in Malibu. The fire has now burned nearly 3,900 acres, and at this point, still no containment. We're also learning 7 structures have been destroyed. 8 were damaged. Evacuation orders and warnings remain in place for thousands of residents.
And we have live team coverage this morning. Our reporters are in the fire zone following everything from the evacuations to the damage. Our assignment manager, Mark Liu, is also taking a closer look at the ongoing firefight, and Amanda Starantino is keeping an eye on the road closures. But Amber Lee is monitoring how the weather could impact the firefight. Let's start, though, with Cara, who is live in front of the Malibu Seafood Restaurant. And Cara, what does it look like out there now?
Well, you could just hear one of the aerial helicopters, the aerial attacks crossing over ahead of us. Now, behind us here, you can see Malibu Seafood Restaurant there. Firefighters have been out here all morning very successfully protecting this. And if we pan up, you can also see where there are still some flames there this morning. But they have been staging one aerial attack after another. Let's get right to some new video shot from SkyCal within the last hour here. Take a look. You can see just the wall of flames, how far that extends for. Firefighters continuing to battle this fire this morning. Thankfully, they say the winds, which were incredibly fierce yesterday, have decreased. Most of this fire also now burning in hillsides away from homes, but they stress this is still a huge threat. So take a look. That's one of the aerial attacks we saw when we arrived earlier. They've been doing them in the dark here. We first got here right around 3 this morning. The hillsides behind us at that point lit up with flames that were eating through the brush. Embers were flying as those gusts picked up, but a line of crews stationed along PCH have continued keeping watch and have staged one water or retardant drop after another. Now, also overnight, take a look at this. Sheriff deputies, they're moving into this RV park, urging people who had stayed to get out. We are not sure how many people were there, but officials say winds had shifted the fire enough. They wanted everyone to leave. That RV park is in that large mandatory evacuation zone. The Franklin fire started back on Monday night. The video you are looking at, though, this is from this morning. The fire continuing to char the hillsides here. Cellular communication has been a big issue for many families trying to get in touch with loved ones. We've experienced some of the struggles with that ourselves here this morning. The most encouraging news, though, is that there have been no injuries reported. Back here live, though, firefighters continuing to urge everyone to heed those evacuation warnings and also the mandatory orders, because they say they are still far from getting this fire contained. Back to you.
Okay, Cara Fincham, thank you so much for that update.
Some residents in Malibu took matters into their own hands to save their homes in their neighborhood.
Yeah, some even fought the flames for hours with the fire hose. Take a look.
This house is gonna go down, bro.
Yeah, so this neighbor and his friend, they stood on the roof of his house spraying water along his neighborhood as the fire ignited palm trees and houses on Mariposa de Oro Street. He tells her Jasmine Veal what it was like during that firefight.
Yeah, the fire was fully surrounding us. I hear honking. I go outside and the sky is red. And I drive around the corner. The whole mountain is on fire.
Yeah, so he tells us he was able to save 5 homes and knows of 3 homes that burned in his neighborhood. But just looking at those images, you can tell how terrifying that must have been. And those flames burned dangerously close to the Pepperdine University campus as students spent another night sheltering in place.
Power and internet access remains out at much of the school, and today we are expecting to learn if the shelter-in-place order will be lifted. Our Tina Patel is there live now with the very latest. Tina, good morning.
Good morning. Well, the fire has now moved away from campus, but as you said, there's widespread power outages here. They have generators in some of the buildings. That's part of the reason why university has asked students to stay in the library or campus center overnight in a shelter in place. Now, take a look at these dramatic